Welcome to Shadow Keepers, where we dive into the darkest corners of the unknown. I'm Lee.
And I'm B. Tonight we're hitting the road, but not just any road. We're taking you on a journey down some of the most haunted highways in the world.
Deserted back roads, phantom hitchhikers, and stretches of asphalt where time seems to warp. These are the places where legend and reality blur.
Some of these highways hold tragic pasts, others have been the sites of bizarre, unexplained encounters. But one thing is certain travelers who venture down them often come back with stories they wish they didn't have to tell.
So buckle up, keep your eyes on the road, and whatever you do, don't stop for strangers. Clinton Road and the land around it have become famous over the years as an area abundant with legends of paranormal occurrences, such as sightings of ghosts, strange creatures, and gatherings of witches, Satanists, and the Ku Klux Klan. It is also rumored that professional killers dispose of bodies in the surrounding woods, with one recorded case of this occurring. On May 18, 1983, the body of Daniel Deppner was found when a cyclist riding down Clinton Road in a wooded area of West Milford, New Jersey, spotted the corpse being eaten by a turkey vulture. The body had been wrapped inside a green garbage bag before dumping it. Richard Klukинski was charged and convicted of his murder. According to Weird NJ, there is a legend that if someone puts a quarter in the middle of the road at one of the bridges over Clinton Brook, Dead Man's Curve, near the reservoir at midnight, it will supposedly be returned by the ghost of a boy who drowned while swimming or had fallen in while sitting on the edge of the bridge. In some tellings, an apparition is seen. In others, the ghost pushes the teller into the water if they look over the side of the bridge. Besides the ghost boy, there have been other ghosts described by Weird NJ readers. One claims to have seen a ghost Camaro driven by a girl who supposedly died when she crashed it in 1988. Any mention while driving on the road at night is supposed to trigger a manifestation. Another claims to have encountered two park rangers one night while camping with friends near Terrence Pond. They turn out to have been the ghosts of two rangers who had died on the job in 1939. Other Weird NJ readers claim to have seen people dressed weirdly at odd hours, who simply stare at those who see them and do not speak, who either disappear or are not seen by others present. A stone structure just east of the road, south of the reservoir, was said by Weird NJ readers to be a site where local druids practice their rituals, and horrible things might come to pass for any intruder who looked too closely or came at the wrong time. The building is actually an iron smelter built in 1826. According to the Travel Channel show Most Terrifying Places in America, too, phantom vehicles such as pickup trucks or even floating headlights not attached to any vehicle supposedly appear from nowhere in the middle of the night and chase drivers to the end of the road, then disappear. Strange creatures from a hellhounds to monkeys and unidentifiable hybrids are alleged by Weird NJ to have been seen at night. In 1905, English-born railroad official and banker Richard James Cross built a massive stone Tudor summer home, resembling a castle, on high land near the reservoir for his wife and three children. Later in the 20th century, a fire had destroyed part of it and became a popular destination for hikers and local teenagers looking for secluded locations to camp out and have parties. According to Weird NJ, visitors have written about strange occurrences in or near the castle site, such as people going into seizures and having bruises appearing on their bodies afterwards, or having strange, disturbing visions. Writings that suggest satanic symbols have been reported as appearing on the castle's interior walls, particularly in areas that were supposedly inaccessible.
So, there was a killer disposing of bodies there?
Yeah.
Who was the killer?
His name is Richard Kuklinski. He was charged and convicted.
He wasn't the one who found it, though, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
A cyclist found it while he was riding down Clinton Road.
And then 25 cents being returned to the
Yeah,
person
quarter.
to the person
Mhm.
by boy. How do you know it was returned? How do you know you just didn't have a quarter on the floor?
How does it get returned? Like, in your hand suddenly, in your pocket? Do you only have 1 quarter when you go there, you put it, and then suddenly it reappears? I don't
Yeah, like,
know.
how long does it
I
take
don't
for you to get this quarter back?
Yeah, I don't know how it gets returned
How do you know it was a boy? I got
because he has been
questions.
seen, his apparition has been seen.
And Druids in Jersey. I find that to be the most interesting. I didn't even think Druids were real.
Oh, they practice rituals.
I don't know, I always felt like Druids were, like, fairies. Oh, okay,
It's a
Druids.
member of a high-ranking
Yeah, ancient
priestly.
Celtic societies.
Yeah,
So I guess it's like
religious leaders.
yeah. Okay, I don't know why, I always think because like, when I read, like, my new supernatural paranormal books, and they mention druids, I know they're witches, or not witches, they have magic, but then it's like, how come they're just not wizards then? Like, what's the difference?
They're religious leaders as well as legal authorities, lore keepers,
What, keeper?
lore, Lore,
Oh,
medical professionals.
I wonder if that castle is still in Jersey. I would like to see it.
I think it should be. There wasn't any mention of it being torn down, but it's probably gonna be disgusting inside if kids are using it as parties and stuff like that.
It's so sad, like, something like a building like that can be just left abandoned and be destroyed by people not having any respect. I never really did like, I get the curiosity of searching and looking through an abandoned building, but I don't get the point of, like, vandalizing, destroying, you know what I mean? I find that weird. Dead Man's Curve in Cleveland, Ohio, is a notorious stretch of road on Interstate 90, near the junction with Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. It has a sharp, almost 90-degree turn that has been the site of numerous accidents over the years. But beyond its dangerous design, there are eerie legends and ghostly encounters tied to this infamous curve. Phantom Hitchhiker. One of the most well known ghost stories involves a spectral hitchhiker seen along the curb. Drivers have reported seeing a man or a young boy trying to flag down cars, only for him to vanish when they get closer. Some version of the story claim he's the spirit of a crash victim from decades past. A vanishing car wreck. Some Cleveland residents have claimed to see the aftermath of a car accident. Twisted metal, flashing lights, and even injured people, only for everything to disappear when they pass by again. Could it be echoes of past tragedies replaying on the deadly stretch of road? In 1969, there was a horror crash. One of the most well documented tragedies occurred in 1969 when a speeding car lost control and slammed into a guardrail. Several people died in the fiery wreck, and ever since, locals have claimed to see shadowy figures near the crash site or to hear the sounds of screeching tires when no cars are around. Ghostly figures crossing the road. Some late night drivers have reported figures suddenly appearing in the middle of the road, forcing them to swerve only to realize that there's no one actually there. Whether these are spirits of past victims or just tricks of the mind on a dangerous turn, the stories persist. Even the modern safety improvements, Dead Man Curves remains one of Cleveland's most infamous haunted spots, whether it's ghosts or just energy of tragedies that have taken place there. One thing is certain, many who drive it at night feel they're not alone.
That would be freaky just to see something and it's just not there. And I hear
Uh,
that a lot on roads and stuff like that, but
Especially here, because here it's not like, like in Philly, there's so many back roads. Here, it's all highway. And it freaks me out, especially like when we take that drive to go back to Philly, because it's just all highway. And we have so many trucks here.
Mhm.
And Tony would be like, oh, just sleep. I cannot sleep.
Mm-mm.
For that 7.5 hour drive, I am awake because there are so many trucks. And even like my sister, my family, when they come, they're like, there's so many trucks on the way here. I'm like, yeah, there are. And my biggest fear is like being mashed.
Yeah.
Like when we're driving and we're honestly like there's one in front of us, one on the side, and one behind. And I'm like holding that oh shit bar and I'm
Yeah.
like relax. I'm like, I am relaxed. It's I am relaxed. And that he's a great driver. Honestly, I'm more relaxed with him than anyone else. So then like all I think about is like, what if we're on this road and one of these trucks sees this and they like swerve or they stop and then I'm like sandwiched underneath.
Well, the road you were talking about, is it like the a
It's
2
an
lane?
interstate. It's a highway,
Oh, wow.
but it's a curved interstate.
Okay. Is it
So
is a
like,
sharp curve?
mhm.
Okay.
And it says in Cleveland, so Cleveland is bordered to Lake Erie. So if you wanna go to the lake, you would go to one of the cities along the lake is Cleveland. So then I'm like, is this near the Lake Erie? Like, that'd be crazy. Lake Erie is very, very deep. It's Lake Erie, you would think it was an ocean because you don't see the other side.
Okay.
And at that, like, Erie has, I think, like, 6 islands inside of the lake that are not close to each other, and because on the other side of the lake is Canada. So, you know, you can't see Canada from us. I'm like, "Dude, if you fall, that's it.
Mhm.
You're done." They did reduce the speed limit because of all the accidents they were having. It used to be 50 and now it's 35, but they said even with the reduced speed limit because of the curve being so like 90-degree, they still have so many accidents. And Tony does say he's never seen like here in Ohio, he's never seen so many one-car accidents.
Yeah, he had told me when I was
Every
there,
every
and then
time somebody goes,
I started paying attention, and I'm like, "Wait, you're right, everybody
yeah,
is banged up with, like, a
but there's
bandage
no
on their
other
arm or their
car.
leg." Yeah.
There's no other car in a like even like in a ditch. And it's like, how did you get there?
Yeah, there's a lot of people in Ohio that are bandaged up, and I started noticing it.
Crazy people on the road with these beat up cars.
Mhm.
And there was one story I found, I thought it was crazy. It was talking about, like, a lot of people would pick up a hitchhiker on the Dead Man's Curve, and they would get in the back seat, and they would they wouldn't really talk much, but they would give them an actual address to go to, and a lot of people said when they were basically, like, blocks away from that address, th the spectral would just completely disappear, and some people still went to the address anyway and, like, knocked on the door and said, "Hey, we picked up this person, and they gave us this address. I don't know what happened. Do you know them?" And the people they said it was always they're an older person answering the door, like, no, they didn't know who it was. And I was like, "That's weird." And it's like, to me, it's weird that you went to the address. I mean, I think I'd be nosy enough to drive past the address. I don't think if I'm bold enough to knock on someone's door and be like,
Yeah, I think
"Hey."
if the person disappeared in the back is like, did I imagine it? Like, I would think I'm crazy, and I would just keep going.
I don't know about that because I would think, like, you would have to put the address in the GPS. So
Yeah, but
now
I don't know if I would actually go to the address
I would
afterwards.
go to it. I'm not knocking on the door.
I don't wanna knock on the door, I don't know.
I will, like,
That's
slowly, like,
sus.
"Is this a ghost house? Does this address even exist? Is this address
Maybe if
portal?"
I was with some people and they gave me courage, I would. But
Yes, yes.
if I'm by myself, number 1, I'm
That's
not
what
picking up a hot hitchhiker. 2, I'm not gonna go to the address
that's
if
what
the
I'm saying.
person just randomly disappears.
Who's picking up a hitchhiker? But they said the reason why a lot of them pick up the hitchhiker is because it's a young boy.
Oh, okay.
So but not a child, more maybe like a teenager.
Mhm.
So, I might see that, but
Like a 14-year-old, yeah, I can see that, people stopping for that.
I watch too much stuff to be talking about picking up hitchhikers, like, how was that a regular thing back in the day is wild to
Yeah,
me.
it was. Everybody did it.
Yep, but that's my one dead man's curve.
Okay. Shades of Death, another rural road in New Jersey said to be a site for paranormal encounters. The road in New Jersey is not only one with this unusual name. Another Shades of Death road exists in Washington County, Pennsylvania. Once called Shades or Shades Road because of the trees that provided shade, later took on the name Shades of Death because in 1850, malaria-carrying insects were discovered nestling in cliff face along the road. They flourished in the nearby wetlands of Bear Swamp, causing annual outbreaks of the disease, killing so many families in the surrounding area. The problem was so widespread that in 1884, a state-sponsored project drained the swamps, ending the threat. Highwaymen or other bandits would supposedly lay waiting for victims in shadows of the forest, then often cut their throats after taking what they had, or they would engage in fights to the death among themselves over women. Or is it said the local population would take revenge against these highwaymen by hanging them and leaving the bodies dangling from low-hanging trees branches as a warning to other criminally minded. In the 1920s and 1930s, there were 3 brutal murders along the road. One was a robbery in which a man was hit over the head with a tire jack over some gold coins. A second in which a woman beheaded her husband and buried the head and the body on different sides of the street. And lastly, one in which a local resident, Bill Cummins, was shot and buried in a mud pile. They were never solved. Bear Swamp nearby was known as either Cat Hollow or Cat Swamp because of the packs of vicious wildcats that lived there who frequently and lethally attacked travelers along the road. Ghost Lake is just off the road and in the state forest south of the I-80 overpass. It was created in the early 20th century when 2 wealthy local men dammed the creek. Weird NJ writes that visitors that have told them that no matter what time of night they visit the lake at, the sky above it always seems as bright as if it were still twilight. And several have reported ghosts in the area, especially in a deserted old cabin across the lake from the road. Supposedly victims of the murders once believed to have given the road its name. To the right of the Ghost Lake is a small cave, once used by the Lenape. Weird NJ says that though the cave is now easily accessible and also covered in graffiti, archaeologists who surveyed the area in 1918 found pottery shards, flint, and broken arrowheads. From their findings, the archaeologists concluded that the fairy hole was not often visited. It may have been used as a simple resting point for traveling or hunting Lenape. But with its close proximity to several known burial sites, it is said to be a religiously important site. This survey was conducted before the creation of Ghost Lake. Lenape Lane is an unpaved 1-lane dead-end street about 3/4 mile in length, running eastward off Shades, just north of I-80. It ends at a farmhouse for which it is little more than a driveway, but halfway down there is a space to park or turn around next to a wooden structure described as looking like an abandoned stable. Weird NJ writes that visitors to this stable site at night have reported extremely local fog surrounding it and seeing apparitions in it, or sometimes even in clear weather, and also claim the air is sometimes unusually chilly and feeling general unease in the area for no apparent reason. An additional legend claims that sometimes nocturnal visitors to Lenape see an orb of white light appear near the end of the road, which chases vehicles back out to Shades of Death. And if it turns red in the process, those who see it will die. This may be due to an old tree near the end of Lenape that was never cut down when the road was built. As a result, the road forks right before the tree, and a big red reflector has been nailed to the tree to warn drivers. Another legend says that if one circles around the tree and drives down the road again at midnight, a red light will shine and the driver will never survive. There are some legends concerning a Native American spirit guide who supposedly takes the shape of a deer and appears at various points along the road at night. If drivers see him and do not slow down sufficiently enough to avoid a collision, they will soon get into a serious accident with a deer. Another legend tells of a bridge where if drivers stop past midnight with their high beams on and honk their horns 3 times, they will see the ghosts of 2 young children who were run over while playing in the road. This legend actually refers to a bridge over the Flat Brook on Old Mine Road, not far from Shades of Death. The bridge is no longer accessible by car as a newer, larger bridge has been built next to it. The original bridge can still be reached on foot.
Okay, I got fixated on the lady who killed her husband, chopped off his head, and buried them two different sides of the road. I need to understand why. Did she think
Yes.
they would find each other and reattach?
Or she didn't want anybody finding him and making him whole. She hated him so much. She's like, no, like, you're not going to ever be whole.
Like, I was like, maybe, like, I feel like maybe she wanted to dismember him altogether, started with the head, realized how hard it was, and she gave up.
Yeah.
But swampland is the perfect place to get rid of bodies. Like,
Hmm.
I feel like Florida, because it has a lot of swampland, has so many like, if they drained it, they would find so many dead bodies.
You think so? Because then I'm thinking alligators will eat most of it.
Mhm. True, true,
You got
true.
alligators, I'm sure some of the fish will bite on the meat.
And you said Ghost Lake. Is it a real lake that is called Ghost Lake, or is that like a nickname?
Give me a minute to look at here. I
'Cause
think
that just
it's a
sounded
real ghost.
'cause it sounded interesting.
No, it's a real it says Ghost Lake is just off the road in the state forest, south of the I-80 overpass, so that
Oh,
is
so
the
it's
name
in
of
the
the
state
lake.
forest. Oh, cool. I'm
So
gonna
that is
oh,
the name
that'd
of
be
the lake.
cool.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice little trip. I wonder how far it is. Like, how far into what part of Jersey? Because 'Cause you're not saying what part of Jersey, are you?
Information, I just did the fun parts. We don't care. We just care about this lady beheading her fucking husband, and why did she do it?
Yeah, and why we only took his head off?
Yeah, like you said, I think it got too much work. Either it's too much work or she was like, "Shit, someone's gonna see me." Because you know
Or
it's gonna
maybe
take a while. It's gonna take a while to chop every single limb off.
listen, especially, like, a crime of passion that wasn't planned. Because then I'm thinking, like, if I planned it, I might get one of those meat grinders or, like, the deli machine, slice that man up.
See, that's planned and that's at home. It's not on the side of the road.
No, no, no,
He
no, no.
said, "Are you lost? You should stop for directions." He told her to shut the F up. She got pissed and fucking stabbed him, and then she had to behead him. 'Cause now she's gotta bury the body. So, he yelled at her in the car, and then she killed him because she's like, "This is the last time you're yelling at me forever. Like, you're never gonna raise your voice at me again." Like, I can see that happening, like a crime of passion.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh shit, what did I do?" The adrenaline, goes away after a while. I mean, I don't have experience, but I'm saying I'm sure the adrenaline goes away after a while, so then, "Oh shit, now you gotta hide the body."
Okay. My second road is also in Ohio and is also called the Dead Man's Curve. On Route 222 in Claremont County, Ohio, is one of the most notorious haunted roads in the state, known for its deadly accidents, eerie atmosphere, and ghostly sightings. This stretch of road has become a hot spot for paranormal enthusiasts and urban legends. This sharp curve has been the site to numerous fatal crashes over the decades. Many accidents involve speeding vehicles losing control while navigating the turn. Some believe the curve's design itself is cursed, as drivers have reported losing control for no apparent reason. Locals claim that many of the crash victims' spirits still linger in the area, unable to find peace. Several drivers have reported seeing headlights approaching them from behind or from the opposite lane, only for the car to vanish suddenly before reaching the curve. Some claim to have been chased by an invisible car, feeling the rush of wind as if a vehicle had just passed them when there is nothing there. A few reports describe a phantom truck or an old fashioned car that appears out of nowhere and disappears just as quickly. Many travelers claim to have seen shadowy figures standing by the roadside, only for them to fade into the darkness as the car gets closer. Some say they've spotted a woman in white walking along the road who disappears when approached. Others report seeing human like figures darting across the road, causing drivers to slam on their brakes, only to realize there was no one there. Some who had stopped at the curve at night report hearing whispers or screams in the wind. A few have claimed to hear footsteps approaching their car, but when they look outside, no one is there. Some hear the sound of tires screeching and a loud crash, as if reliving an accident from the past. There's no evidence of a wreck when they investigate. Is the curve cursed? While skeptics argue that the road is simply dangerous due to its sharp turn and rural setting, the sheer number of paranormal reports and tragic accidents have led some to believe that Dead Man's Curve on Route 222 is cursed. Many drivers refuse to take the road late at night, especially alone. Those who do often report an overwhelming sense of unease, as if someone or something is watching them.
I think if a lot of people report sightings, it can't just not be real.
Yeah.
I mean, skeptics are skeptics because nothing has happened to them. And then once they do have what is it called? An experience, then suddenly they're not skeptics anymore. And then they become believers.
It's not even that. It's more like for it even to be for so many reports, like even like accident reports, which are not filed but are accounted for. So to have like all these accident reports that have a paper trail and they're claiming like a person is darted in front of their car and nothing happened and or no one was there or someone on the side of the road, like for that to say all that and then that's what you're saying is probably what caused your accident. I feel like it's more real than not. Like the first one, it had a lot of accidents too, but like this one is specifically known for it being so paranormal.
Hmm.
It makes me interested to go and check it out, but not so much that I actually want to go and check it out.
Is there a certain time of day that these sightings are occurring, like at night
It's
or
basically at night. A lot of people say they do not want to drive. Basically, don't like driving it after midnight.
I also think like, are you tired by then and then you do hallucinate?
I don't know, but also a lot of the roads here don't have good lighting, like street lights, which freaks me out a lot because you're going by your own car lights. And I find those to be so blinding at
Yeah.
night. It doesn't really illuminate much.
Yeah, and
So,
then you don't see the curve until, the light hits
yeah.
it.
Or what would freak me out is to see like where some people say they see headlights coming towards them.
Mhm.
And if I don't know if this is a two-way street or, like, is there
Yeah.
a medium in the middle where cars should be on the opposite side, Or so then a car shouldn't be coming your way. Like headlights should not be coming your way. That would freak me out. I think I'd have a heart attack.
Well, yeah, anybody would because you think you're having a head-on collision,
Yeah. And then
and it
for it to
suddenly
disappear.
disappears. Yeah.
Yeah, and that, of course, will make you swerve or push the brakes. God forbid there's cars behind you. Are you the
Mhm.
only one seeing it? And the car behind you see it? That was what would freak me out. Makes me think that's probably why there's so many single car accidents here in
Yeah.
Ohio. I'll
It's
tell
because of them
Tony.
it's 'cause of them haunted roads, that's what it
Yeah,
is.
it is. And we have so many brand new roads too. Crazy. That's funny. It says, yeah, like a lot of people will not drive it at night. It's just so limiting to life. That or find another way around. Are you sick?
No, I think it's allergies. Allergy season started, and every time I open the door, and it's been really windy today,
Mhm.
suddenly I get runny, so I have to start taking my
You should be taking it all year round.
No, I don't need it in the wintertime or fall, really.
Okay. Before we wrap up, let's turn to the cards and see what message they have for us tonight. The card I pulled today is the Devil reversed, which is releasing limiting beliefs, exploring dark thoughts, detachment. The Devil reversed can often appear when you are on the verge of a breakthrough or an up leveling. You are being called to your highest potential. But first, you must let go of any unhealthy attachments or limiting beliefs that may hold you back. Often, when you are called to something more, you must deal with your shadows before you can step into this new version of yourself. It may be an addiction, an unhealthy relationship, or a disengaging career. Let go of fear and release any self imposing limiting beliefs standing in the way of your growth. It is easier than you realize. Let's see what that brings us this week, what that
It
manifests as. I mean, I literally before we started recording, I said I trying to, get my ADHD under control and
Yeah, so yeah,
all the bad habits that comes with that.
yeah, just think of the keywords and see what limiting beliefs you have, and then, work through that.
I think my limiting belief is me. Like I feel like I want to do so much more, but I feel like I don't have the energy or the focused mindset to get it done. I know I can, but I limit myself.
Yeah, I mean, everybody does.
Yeah.
Limiting belief is like, "It's too hard. I can't do it. I don't have time,"
Yeah.
you know? And it is something that you want to do, but you stop yourself from doing it.
Yeah.
So, gotta
It's
let
like
that go and just do it.
you're paralyzed.
Yeah, so even if it's like a small step, you take that small step and see where it leads you.
Yeah. And sometimes you just need like encouragement from others to help you realize that you can do it. But yeah, that's it. That was today's card.
From phantom travelers to roads that seem to bend reality, haunted highways remind us that sometimes the most terrifying journeys aren't just about where you're going, but what's following you.
So whether you're driving through the night or just passing through, remember, some roads never let go of their ghosts.
Thanks for riding with us through the unknown. If you've had your own haunted highway experience, we'd love to hear about it. Reach out to us on Instagram, Linktree in bio.
As always, stay vigilant, stay awake, stay aware. And remember, not all shadows are harmless. Bye.
Bye.
Why do we always laugh at the end?